The mother of the murdered teenager, Brianna Ghey, is calling on the new government to protect students from the dangers of smartphones. Esther, who's in contact with the mother of her daughter's killer, wants the government to act and to act swiftly.
Yes, Esther Ghey.
Make some change.
Yeah, sorry. Esther Ghey and Brianna's head teacher, Emma Mills. They're calling for a stronger stance to be taken. They want age restrictions, verifications on social media. During the election campaign, we asked Sir Keir Starmer if he would, in fact, go as far as banning under-16s from accessing these platforms.
No, I don't think banning social media for under-16s is viable, but I do think that the platform providers have to be better regulated in terms of what's available online.
And Esther and Emma join us now. Of course, you aren't calling for a complete ban on social media anyway.
No, I'm not. And I completely agree with what Sir Keir Starmer said there, that it needs to be better regulated. And I've met with Ofcom quite a few times, and I know that they're doing some really great work. What I am calling for is for there to be more research, because the term age appropriateness is being thrown around all the time, but what age is appropriate, we don't know. So more research on how social media and smartphone use is actually impacting young people's mental health and well-being.
Yeah, it's so important, isn't it? Because we all, as parents, just feel instinctively, because we know the impact it has on us.
Yeah.
And their brains are still developing at such a rapid pace, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think there are two separate issues here, because there are two groups of people involved. Firstly, Brianna and how she used her mobile phone and the impact that it had on her. What do you think happened to her? Because that got worse, didn't it, during lockdown?
Yeah, so she was forced into this online world, and I think the social isolation and the sort of ease of getting that social contact online, it just kind of overtook her, and I think she became really addicted to a phone as well. Like the amount of arguments that we had when I wanted to make sure that I could monitor a phone, and she was very secretive over it, and I could really tell how much it impacted her mental health. But
of course, the phone became the classroom, the playground, the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Your friends.
It was everything, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I just think that you don't get the same level of social interaction on a device as you do, like how we're sat speaking to each other now. You can't read the body language. It's completely different, isn't it? And something that I really struggled with as a parent was being able to monitor and safeguard her online. So that's another thing that I'm calling for. I would like to see devices that are simple, like I've got simple safeguarding, simple parental controls. And one thing that I would really like to see is like harmful word monitoring. And we already had this this software in schools. Schools use it, so it is available. And I just think it would prevent so many, like, children self-harming, children taking their own lives, grooming. Like, you'd be able to pick up on these things as a parent.
How would that work?
Yeah, please.
So already there are parental control apps that you can get, and they have these inbuilt. So you can get child safe networks, which is a SIM card, and so it's the whole network that have these safety measures inbuilt. Or there is loads and loads of apps that are out there. So it's an app on the child's phone which feeds through to the parent's phone, and so you can block apps, you can put time limits on apps. If certain words are typed in, then you get an alert.
And your son or daughter can't go in and kind of block your blocking?
No, because there's passwords. There's passwords that are used for them.
What do you make, Emma, because you're a head teacher, you're Brianna's head teacher, what do you make of the fact that Eton, obviously very expensive, private boarding school, has decided to issue their students at a certain age with a Nokia handset? I mean, we all now sort of scoff at the Nokia handset, the brick phone.
They were great.
But actually, they are still
my
great
God,
because you
unreliable.
can't get all the addictive social media.
Battery never ran out.
Yeah.
No. What do you think of that
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, to be honest.
for under 16s?
There are other schools that do that. What I'm working on in Warrington is we're doing a campaign that's called Disconnect to Reconnect, which is based around social media use and smartphones. So there's 44 schools in Warrington who are signed up to it at the moment. And what we're saying is that we're asking parents to pledge to protect their child. So don't have social media until you're 13. That's the legal age. So we're just saying don't break the law.
Loads of parents don't know that.
They don't know that. And then we're saying that some level of parental control should be in place until they're 16. So we're not saying don't give them social media. We're not saying don't give them phones. What we're saying is do it and parent them. So hold their hand in that online world. Have it so that you know what they're doing and you can educate them and guide them. So when they get to 16, they can go and live in the online world in a safe and educated way.
The hard thing is it's really hard to educate and guide your kids when you yourself have no experience of it, because we never grew up.
Or self-control. That's what I would say. I
Right.
don't have any self-control when it comes to social media, so I'm the worst person to try and tell my children what to do.
And being a parent in this world is so hard.
Yeah.
I think that's why those parental control apps are really good, because you can say, OK, you can have Instagram, say, but you can have it for 15 minutes a day. And when those 15 minutes are up, they can't access that app.
Although these apps, as we know, deliberately designed to make you want to carry on looking.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Esther, I mentioned, of course, there's two sets of people here. There's your lovely daughter, no longer with us. And I know that's, must be a daily struggle for you. But then we have the two children who are responsible for a death. And what do you feel the mobile phone, the access to the internet, was doing to them?
Do you know, I think that essentially what children are accessing online is brainwashing them. So you've got this addictive device, and then they're looking at, like, the algorithm will keep feeding them toxic information, like self-harming, and some of the stuff that they were accessing online as well is absolutely horrendous. I was having a conversation the other day with somebody about VPNs. And I think that this is, I'm not very good with technology. I am a self-confessed technophobe, but like, you can download VPNs which then enable the child to, like, override any parental controls that's on the Wi-Fi. So if you want to have parental controls on the phone, you've got to have it on the phone, you've got to have it on the Wi-Fi, you've got to have it in every single app. But yeah, like I say, I think that it can brainwash them and it can lead them down a dark hole and to somewhere where a parent would never want their children to be.
I think the last time that you were on our programme was back in March when you spoke to Kate and Adel, and you said that you'd made contact with one of those children's mums, an uncle, I think, as well, and how important that was to you. Now, that has turned into a regular contact, hasn't it? Yes, it has. I would say now that me and Emma are friends. This is Scarlett's mum.
Yeah. She's a normal woman. She's great. She's helping out loads with so I've set up a community interest company called Peace and Mind UK, and we're both working together with that. So she's working behind the scenes, and
in a different way, she'll be devastated too.
Yeah, of course. Like, she'll be, but she's got to carry on living that. She's like, her daughter is still there, but it's not the same as it was before. And I imagine that every day is a struggle for her too. So,
do you think that she understands what happened with her daughter? As in, what went wrong?
I suppose I can't speak for Emma, obviously.
Do you understand what went wrong with those two? They were 15, weren't they, Scarlett and Eddie?
I really don't know, and I don't think that any of us will ever know, and it's not something that I need to seek and I need to find out, because...
But the web and what they were watching and the way that was affecting their brains is one of the reasons that you campaign, isn't it?
That's one of the reasons, but I think the main reason for me is because I saw how much Brianna struggled, and I just feel that life can be so short, and if I can help any parents and young people to be happier and to have a better relationship and to just, I don't know, just not to go down the route that Brianna went down, because it's such a shame that she lived the last 2 years of her life struggling with anxiety
And that, you feel, was compounded by what she was watching, what
Massively.
she was seeing,
Yeah.
what she was experiencing online. I find it so hard as a parent. We are trying to operate in the face of social media companies who've done all the research on how to make these apps addictive and endless.
Yeah.
And there is no switch-off point, is there?
No.
I don't know how, you know, this is why I can imagine you want the government to intervene, because we're sort of powerless.
I mean, we saw Sir Keir Starmer earlier in that clip. Over the last few years, the former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, Gillian Keegan at Education, Ofcom, they've all been working really hard on this. I know you've had lots of contact with them, and there is now a new government, new Children's Secretary, Bridget Phillipson. What needs to change, do you think? If you were saying to the new government, you know, learn from the past and what do we need to do better, what's the thing which they need to kind of have in their minds when they think about this issue?
I think initially what we need to do is some research. We need to launch a thorough consultation to see, like you say, the social media companies have done the research to see how can they make it as addictive as possible, but where is the research to see what age is appropriate and how is it impacting our children's mental health, how is it impacting their well-being. We need to do this because we need to actually find out what age is appropriate and how can we, by finding this out, we can then see what we need to do to make things better.
You actually did a version of that. I actually commissioned it from Tanya Byron, the psychologist, back in 2007, 8, 9. That, of course, is like light years away in this world now. But there is an opportunity, and I think you need to get, because you have this amazing kind of position of authority and persuasion, you need to persuade Bridget Phillipson, in charge of schools and children, and the whole government, that the social media companies are fine and they're trying to make a profit and they're good for jobs and the economy, but what's got to come first is the well-being of children, and to make that centre stage. And I think the previous government wanted that too.
Yeah.
But don't we have to be tougher on these social media companies and say, hang on, things have got to change?
Yeah, we do, and I think that's what the Online Safety Act is there for. The Online Safety Act is there to make social media companies more accountable, but we need to be tough with that as well. So, do you know, and I think we are in a really good position, and I think it is a tipping point. Like, everybody's talking about this, and we've acknowledged, we've realised now that this isn't good, and that we do need to do something to change. So I think just as long as we keep shouting and keep pushing for it, then I really do have hope that we're going to be able to make a difference.
Because of, in terrible circumstances, the leadership you've shown. It's hugely important what you're doing. I know it's how hard it is, but it's really important you carry on, because loads and loads of parents are relying upon you and people like you to make the change we all want.
Incredible. It's a big responsibility, I know, but there's so many people with you and supporting you. And it's lovely to see you this morning. Thank you so much. All power to your elbow. Honestly, I wish the government would do it. Commission a groundbreaking piece of research so we can finally establish the facts of what this even if it was all positive online, even if it was all positive, the fact of being online for that long, what that's doing to our children's minds.
Once you've got that proper research as well, then you want to see a public health campaign around that, then, wouldn't you? So that every single parent is aware of what those actual dangers are.
And you don't feel like you're up against multi-billion-dollar industries or even your children's friends who aren't facing, don't face the same restrictions.
Or just saying, let the school sort it out, let the head teacher sort it out. Everybody's got to be part of it, haven't they? Everybody's got to. I know.
Emma, Esther, thank you so much. Great to see you this morning, and we'll stay in touch with you, of course. As always, send you loads of love.